Hello and welcome to the Three Will Podcast. This is Danny Ryan and I have Tommy Ryan here with me. Hey Tommy.
Hey Danny.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good.
It's a sunny day here in Georgia.
It's a beautiful day outside. Have you had a chance to get out yet?
I did. Actually took lunch out and about.
Good.
And got some fresh air.
That is a good thing. Yeah, I haven't gotten enough fresh air quite yet, but look forward to getting outside as well. So before we get started, the socks, let me see them.
Let's see. Those are kind of mid-grade socks.
Okay,
you got a couple colors in there.
You got a couple colors. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a mottled look. Yeah.
That's nice. And those are nice shoes too.
Thank you. Very comfy.
Can I borrow
Nope.
those? Okay. Just checking. So today, let's talk about an important topic to us, which is partnerships.
Right.
And I think when we started the company out, we were very early on. We knew we wanted to be the best in the world at something, so we wanted to focus in on a particular technology. And so we had a lot of experience with Microsoft, and so that was sort of the default for us, was that we would do a lot of Microsoft-related projects, and that sort of led us to their collaboration stack, yada yada yada. Then SharePoint came around and all that good stuff. And I think for us, it's been one of those positive things. Maybe in the last couple of years, we've branched out a little bit with the cloud stuff, and have tried some things with Salesforce and taking a look at what they're doing. I just wanted to talk with you about sort of our approach, maybe a little bit with working with partners, and how is it that through the years that we've decided to partner up with Microsoft, and more recently even with some other types of partners.
The initial partnership with Microsoft was pretty much a no-brainer for us. Both you and I came from a Microsoft shop.
Yeah.
So that's where we got some of our initial experience in consulting and learning how to build solutions for customers. And when you look at Microsoft, they just support their developers so well. Mm-hmm. Great documentation, great programs to make their partners happy.
Yep.
A very, very rich ecosystem for their partners. So that's a partnership that we've had since the beginning. It was kind of natural. It gave us goals to go after. We got the gold partnership, I think in 2005, I believe. And we continue to keep competencies there. So it helps with some focus of what are the types of solutions we build. So we try to map to those competencies that Microsoft has. Mm-hmm. So, and it's a safe bet, at the end of the day, that definitely Microsoft is here for the foreseeable future. I think they care about their partners probably more than the average organization. They're very developer friendly, mm-hmm. and put a big emphasis on keeping that ecosystem happy.
Mm-hmm. And more recently, I guess we've run into some situations, where a lot of our projects have SharePoint as a part of the technology stack that we're working with. But then within the sort of the SharePoint ecosystem, there's options as far as what workflow tools are you using? What migration tools are you using? And give me a little bit of background sort of on, are we staying, you can use any tool you want to in that ecosystem, or how have things evolved over time for us?
Yeah, for us, early on, we were an app dev focused company. We still are today, but we're broadening some of our services. And the core of what we do is going in there and building things on the .NET platform, primarily ASP.NET, and in particular SharePoint customizations.
Yeah.
And in that journey, we really didn't come across too many situations where we had to, dive deep and learn a lot of third-party tools and create partnerships around that, because usually we're building it from scratch or enhancing what SharePoint had. And then, the typical SharePoint partner, which was maybe infrastructure focused, would try to add on to their service, we can configure an Intex for you, we can run this migration for you. And it wasn't within our wheelhouse. But over time, we found that in the maturity of our organization, we wanted to diversify in types of services we provide. We've talked about that before, from migration services to portals, app dev, and solution sustainment. And when we, started with a migration service, it kind of makes sense to have a tool, at least one tool that you have very high depth of knowledge. And as you pick a tool or a partner there, it's allowed us to create expertise. So not only are we SharePoint experts, but we have expertise in Metalogics and their content matrix that allows us to come in there, and if someone's picked that tool, just like they would pick SharePoint, if they pick the Metalogics tool, we can come in and really make that thing sing.
Yeah.
And that gives us the value add that we're looking for, of having some focus, and that focus being a benefit to our customers. I think over time we've been very shy about going in that path of partnering with another partner outside of Microsoft when it comes to the different third parties in the SharePoint ecosystem. And I think the reason we've done that is we've tried to stay as much as we can in what we call a trusted advisor role. And that trusted advisor role is, okay, you want to do this in SharePoint. What is the best way to do that? There are a set of products out there, and we can evaluate those for you and bring to the table what we know already and help you make a good decision and then implement with that. And we've done that with various tools. Like over time, we've used both K2 and Nintex as workflow. And we just found over time that it's making more sense for the things that we're doing and what's available in the tool set. That Nintex is one that we're in early stages of what that partnership looks like, and trying to really hone in on what does it do best and make sure we bring that to the table and be a good partner to get that accomplished, to make the tool shine, just like we work with SharePoint to make SharePoint shine.
And so this is a little bit of a, we want to make sure that we come to these projects with that additional expertise. And so has this helped out? How has this helped us, I guess, on projects? Is this making that choice? Is it, or are we, I know like the other day I saw that there were a couple of people who got certified on like Nintex and things like that. Is that helping, I guess, prepare us for the next project, or how is that helping us to better serve our clients in the future?
Well, with anything like certifications, a good partner program is going to look at how can we assess our partners, how can we motivate our partners to get more involved in the understanding of our product. Just like taking a Microsoft SharePoint test to be certified as a SharePoint engineer, it might not tell you if you're a great engineer, but it'll tell you that you've done homework around that subject and covered it well enough to be able to answer those questions. So you've got the exposure, and at least it tells you you've got that exposure.
Are you listening to this, Austin? You have the exposure to Google AdWords. So that certification, Austin just got a recent certification, clapping, golf clap. He's AdWords certified, but so you've had the exposure. Now we need to go get you the experience to go along with that. And soon to be Google Analytics certified, correct?
That's right.
Yes, he is. You couldn't hear it, but he was actually crossing his fingers. So it's gonna come, baby. It's gonna come. So sorry, what you were saying.
Well, yeah, it gives you focus. It gives you something to achieve. I think we're all looking for hitting milestones with things that we do. So I think that's the nice thing about things like the certification. And the more that we invest in, say, taking one and going deeper, and not saying that we won't do anything with anything else. It's just saying, we have limited time, limited resources. Let's dive deep here. So when we go in, we have a competitive advantage. Like the stuff we did with, Metalogics, we built that, tooling around it to scale it to multiple nodes and run all this, multiple thousands or 20,000 lines of PowerShell script to be able to orchestrate it, to be able to automate it to such a high level that you couldn't do coming into the door from scratch. We've got that as kind of in our tool bag to go out there and do it much better and much faster. Everybody's looking for things better, cheaper, faster.
Yeah.
So when you hone in on a few tools, a few partners, then we can come to the table armed with being better, cheaper, faster.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know through the years, since we've been doing this for a little while, we've had partners try to, ISV partners come to us and say, get ramped up on our tool and, come and, learn what you need to learn about our tool, and then we'll go find the project work. What I think through the years, what's ended up happening is we're sort of letting our clients drive who we're partnering with, and
Right.
you're letting the project work drive, where do we need to build our expertise? And I think that's been important for us to do that.
Yeah. I mean, to be really honest with it, these things are opportunistic.
Yeah.
You end up getting a really big project, with a customer that uses that tool, that technology, and by the nature of working on that project, you get some great expertise, and you're saying, okay, now that I have this expertise, what should I do? What's the next step? And, to be opportunistic about that is saying, okay, let's put a service offering around that, or let's create that as a value add on to what we do. And that's what we're looking for, is the way to distinguish yourself. And sometimes certain tools, if you have that expertise, will allow you to come in the door and say, we can do this better for you because of this experience.
One last question just to sort of wrap things up, but to you, what makes up a great partnership with another company?
I think it's having a good dialogue between the partnership. I think that's hard with, say, a Microsoft partnership. I mean, we've worked with partner account managers and worked with people that have been resources for us in the partnership. I'm starting to enjoy some of the smaller partnerships because you get that kind of top-level management to top-level management experience. And I think you can have some honest conversations that allow you to get through bumps in the road. I mean, we've had some bumps in the road with different vendors, and I'm not going to say any names, but some of them where we've had some hiccups. But when you go through that and you can work through it and come up with the right answer or a great answer for the customer, that's where you can kind of test that partnership. So I think you have to have a open, honest, transparent relationship, and that way you can grow fast together as a partner. So that's important. I think having structure to the program that says this is how you can ramp up and how you can get to learn our product faster. So having training opportunities, I think, is important if you want to create a partner ecosystem. And then make sure you have a great product. I mean, continue to hone in on what you do as a third party and do it very well, because we care about that. When we go to our customers, we want to do it very well. So, I'd be concerned if we worked with a technology that is not doing it very well for what they focused in on. And there's always new products. There's always, pushing the envelope of the next thing that you're going to do in Office 365, and it's not going to be perfect. But I think you have to, create that relationship to work through the not so perfect things.
And I know there's some gray lines with this, but it's also nice if you're not directly competing with them, where they have a product and a service offering, and it just makes it very difficult in those types of situations. We've run in this has happened, a number of times, including with Microsoft. Microsoft has their own consulting services, and so we compete with them, and it's it comes up with us pretty often. And so in the ideal world, we're not competing against a product company's services arm.
Yeah, and that's the nature of a larger organization like Microsoft. Every organization like Microsoft is going to have, a professional services program, and the breadth and depth of that will vary. I think at the end of the day, yes, we compete with MCS. But at the end of the day, I think we have a different offering. I think if they need that, we've got to hang it on one vendor for both the services and the product, then yeah, it's going to be MCS. But if they're looking for high value and expertise and good process to take a difficult situation and move it forward in the most effective way,
Yeah.
I think an organization like 3Will is going to be a better choice for those companies that want to have a balance of, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I think there's some benefit of having a partner that is being that trusted advisor to tell you the truth of the situation versus, I think not that anyone will get dishonest, but I think you're in a compromised situation sometimes when you're doing both. I think it helps vet out more of the truth when you have that balance of working with different people to bring together a full solution with product and service.
Awesome. I appreciate you taking the time to do this and talking
Sure.
about partnerships, and this has been informative. Thank you, Tommy.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you, everybody, for taking the time to listen today, and have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.